Spoilers and Fandom is like a book club for geeky stuff. Join us as we delve into the depths of our backlogs and sift through the games, comics, shows, movies, and books that we haven't checked out yet. Hey everyone, welcome to Spoilers and Fandom. Should I be worried about the way that spiked?
No, this is the first time we're back after a long break.
Yeah.
I think it's our first episode since the dreaded coronavirus outbreak.
No, we've done, what did we do? We've done...
A second.
Yeah.
Let me pull up that
Excel.
This
is the second one for this year. Fargo. We did Fargo, right?
Yeah, we did Fargo.
Yeah. So we're back after Fargo. If you have stuck around with us and been patient, thank you.
Thank you very much. Sorry for disappearing for a while.
It has just been really hard to record. So we apologize for that.
Yeah.
And we are trying to work on that. And you might see some changes that will come to the show. We might try some stuff out to try and be a bit more consistent. And we'll see how that goes. Today we're going to be talking about
Knives Out.
Yeah, the movie Knives Out. Oh, and I am Hellsknight.
I'm Hillary. We've forgotten a lot of how we used to do the podcast, but it's still
It'll come back slowly. Before we start though, have you watched anything interesting recently as well? I know it's been a while since the last podcast, but any standout movies?
Standout movies, I want to mention Zack Snyder's Justice League. But that, I feel like if you want to, we can do a separate thing. We just have a talk about that.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I was really hyped for that movie when it came out. And even, I think of my friends, I think I'm the only one who hasn't watched it twice yet.
Okay, I haven't watched it yet.
You haven't watched it?
I watched the original.
Uh-huh.
I haven't watched the Zack Snyder cut.
Okay. Were you were you interested in that whole drama?
I did not like the drama about the Snyder cut. And I thought there was a lot of, I do think what happened was maybe mean to him.
Yeah.
And the stuff that surrounded that sounded pretty messed up. I don't like the other drama around that though.
Okay. Yeah.
Specifically the Joss Whedon bashing stuff that came out of that. Yeah, and basically the side stuff that came out of that is what I didn't like.
Yeah.
But the fact that he gets to do his movie again because that's literally what he's done.
Yeah, he got a do-over.
Good for him, lucky him.
Yeah.
But I think that's also unfair as well. Because this is going to be a big topic. There's so many people who get their shows or movies and stuff just cut by executives for stupid decisions.
Or even just cancelled.
If you're looking at bashing Joss Whedon for doing that somehow to that, you have to remember Joss Whedon is the king of stuff getting canceled, right?
Yeah.
Firefly, Angel, Buffy. I think Hollywood is just like that.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
But even other than that, I'm trying to do a marathon of the Bond movies before the new Bond movie comes out I'm thinking November. Yeah, No Time to Die. So I want to see if I can watch every Bond movie between now and then.
Okay.
So right now, I think I did Octopussy last weekend. So, yeah.
Do the older ones all hold up?
Some do, but I also have a built-in preference. I'm not a huge fan of Roger Moore's Bond. I'll say that.
Okay.
Yeah. But I'm accepting it because he represents a very different idea of what Bond is from what is in the books. So for me, when I was growing up, when I started watching the Bond movies, I loved the movies. Then I read the book. I read a few books. Then I was like, why did they change him so much from the books? Then now again, later, as I'm watching them now slowly, I think I'm getting a bit better appreciation. Because at the time, I guess it was necessary. they couldn't. There wasn't any room for a rough Bond at the time. Everybody needed him to be kind of this suave, sophisticated guy. Yeah, and that's what the character grew into, in any sense. Yeah, so I just want to see if I can catch up with all the Bond movies in 2021. That's been my challenge to myself for the year.
Wow. Yeah, I have not watched a lot of Bond movies. Maybe I should do that.
Give it a shot. The reason why I also did this is because remember I used to do quiz night. And in my team I was kind of the unofficial Bond guy. Because when they bring a clip, you're supposed to be able to identify which movie it is within 10 seconds.
Right.
Yeah. So that's why I want to see if I can catch all the movies, so at least I have a memory bank of a bunch of scenes from every single Bond movie, so I don't mix them up anymore.
Studying.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that by next year, when we get back to hopefully the new normal, when we get back and quizzes are back up, Bond movies are done. I don't need to go back to those again.
Nice.
Yeah. What have you been up to? What have you been watching?
Yeah, so, I mean, you just mentioned Zack Snyder. I watched Army of the Dead. It is terrible.
I hate watched it from, let's say, the last quarter of it.
You hate watched it?
Yeah, I hate watched the last quarter.
Like, I like the zombies, I guess, but wow, that movie has, like, the worst writing
Yes.
I have seen in a very long time. Like, it's so bad.
The characters especially, his daughter is a dumbass.
All writing, all the plot, nothing, like, follows, like, logic. I swear to you, I have seen 6-year-olds write more intricate stuff than this. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did not like that. And I did watch that Angelina Jolie movie that's in the cinemas. Those Who Wish Me Dead.
Oh, okay.
And I like that one.
More than Army of the Dead?
Oh, hell yeah. I liked it way more.
Okay.
I didn't know that was based off a book, but that's a decent movie. I think if you have like a mixed bunch of people with you who all like different things, that's sort of like a middle ground that you all can go watch and have a decent time.
Okay.
Like it's a straightforward movie.
I hadn't even heard of this movie.
This one? Yeah. It's the one in the cinemas. Those Who Wish Me Dead.
What's it about?
It's about Angelina Jolie is like a fire watch person. She's living on a fire tower. There's a kid. 2 hitmen are trying to kill him, and
she's gonna save him.
She's gonna try and save him.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all you need to know. That I mean, it's a lot more detailed than that, but yeah, that's really the gist of the trailer.
Okay.
Gosh, I rewatched Rurouni Kenshin, the original live action movie from 2012.
Yeah,
still holds up. It's still decent. I liked it.
Okay, cool.
I haven't watched the other 3, but now maybe I should get to those.
But you haven't watched the other 2?
The other 3 movies that came out after it.
Wait, I thought there were 2.
Well, I don't know how many there are, but I was shocked that there were so many more after that.
Wait, the legend... Wait,
Rurouni Kenshin, Samurai X.
Yes,
the original movie that came out. It was like 2012.
Oh, 2012.
And I'm talking about live action. Yes. I think there's like another 2 or another one in 2014.
Yes.
And then another one recently.
Because of those movies, I remember there were 3 series. There were 3 movies, sorry. So that 2012 was the first one.
Yeah.
Then in 2016, I think it was in 2016 that the second and the third came out. Right. No, 2014 was Kyoto Inferno. Then 2016 was, I think, The Legend Ends, the last one.
Okay.
Well, it's both 2014, yeah.
Okay, so I've only watched the 2012 one.
You've only watched the 2012 one?
I rewatched it, and it's really good.
Do you like... Okay, no, that one, let's save that for another episode.
Yeah,
that one deserves its own time. Yeah.
Maybe we cover the next one. But yeah, I really like that movie. And I watched another crap one called... it's on Netflix. It's called The Mitchells versus the Machines. It's one of those CG kind of movies. It's very cringy with the writing. It's better than Army of the Dead. But it's very one of those movies that's like, family is everything. Family will save you. We're family, so we can do anything. It's one of those movies. It's got some funny moments. I'm not gonna lie. It's got some really funny moments. So
Funnier than Army of the Dead.
Like, I even watched the new Tom and Jerry movie. So, like, if I'm comparing those two as, like, kid-friendly shows, I'd say while Tom and Jerry was a better movie, I found some parts in the Mitchells versus the Machines a little funnier. Even though, the overall story of Tom and Jerry was way better.
Was better.
Yeah, and also the animation, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But now, let's go on to Knives Out.
Yes.
So we've talked about this. If you listen to our last episode, I literally thought this would be like a fighting movie. Like, I think I even commented, I'm like, Knives Out. Sounds cool. It is not the movie I thought it was.
In a good way?
In a good way. I was pleasantly surprised. This movie, if you haven't watched it, it is a murder mystery.
Yes.
It is literally an old school type murder mystery done in sort of like the real world or like today's world.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's as believable.
No.
Yeah. There's it didn't seem realistic.
Yeah.
I'd say that.
It feels very Agatha Christie.
Yes, it does. Yeah, it does.
Like classic, if you can imagine a whodunit.
Yeah.
Written by Agatha Christie, starring all these people. It's exactly what you think, but the story isn't as linear as you'd think it is.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's got a few really nice twists, and yeah, for me, I think the cast is what shone through better than even, because these guys could have had. I feel like this cast could have had a story as shit as Army of the Dead, and carried it further.
I don't know how you're comparing those two. Army of the Dead and this. Like, I think this cast was just really well done. I also think the writing and cinematography were really well done. Like, it was just like a well-written script, a really interesting premise. And, it was almost like, some parts of it felt like video gamey. I mean, I don't know if that's a spoiler. If we talk about like Marta and her character, specifically with like her quirk, I'll say that way. Yes. Would that be a spoiler?
No, because I don't know.
It's sort of like,
I don't think so, because they come out with it. They lead with it in the beginning that it's a tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
but it doesn't really. I don't feel like it's a spoiler.
Okay. So let's
cover the plot a bit.
Let's talk about the plot first. Yeah. So there is the movie kind of opens up. It's this big mansion out in the middle of like the countryside. The very typical murder mystery kind of mansion. And it opens up. The guy who owns the mansion, who is a writer, a mystery novel writer, is found killed. And it looks like a suicide, and people have.
It was actually because his throat was slit.
Yeah,
and it looked like
like a suicide.
Yeah,
and it was like the night of his birthday, and it just sort of carries on from there, with a police investigation leading to a private eye being involved. For reasons, and mainly interviews with the family members and the workers who are working there. And I guess the main character is Marta, the nurse, his nurse who was looking after him. Well, I mean, she is the main character, as well as, I guess, the inspector, the private inspector.
Yes.
And the plot kind of takes off from there. I really feel like the less you know about,
the better it is.
Yeah, like this is all within the first, I guess, 10 minutes of the movie. So the less you know about what happens after, the better.
Yeah.
But it's super charming. It isn't too convoluted as well. There are some things that are there if you have an eye for this stuff. Like some tells and some little things
Easter
that
eggs.
Yeah. Yeah, those are just spread out throughout the whole movie. And if you're a fan of these kind of things, I think you'll be quite happy.
Because even for me, like, when I was watching the movie, I did have, that idea of, I know where the story is going. Like, you can assume that you know where a story is going based off of, I know the characters, I know largely the sort of genre, what's gonna go on.
Right.
But for me, I didn't necessarily follow. I felt like the story surprised me as I kept going. Because now when you're told something specific about one character,
yeah,
you'll assume that, so that's what they're going to use with this guy all the way through. And it's not. It's incidental. Some information ends up being incidental. Some information ends up being like super important to the whole plot.
Yeah, and it's like very casually told, right?
Yeah, it's very casually presented. You just learn about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like that.
Yeah. So
About
even
the writing, yeah.
Yeah. So the writing for me, I also really liked that part of it.
Also, the acting's pretty good.
Yeah. For me, the cast and the acting is what did this movie for me.
Right.
Because at the beginning, now when you just start, I think when the movie starts out, you're noticing the stars. But then as the movie progresses, you now see the acting of it elevates it. So you're able now to just look at the characters in isolation.
Oh, I would say that with the acting, it's a bit more theatrical.
Yeah.
Than like casual realistic acting.
Yeah.
Like they really, like when you go to a theater to experience like a play, they're very clearly acting as if they're talking to an audience. All the actors. It's really well done, but it's super done like it's a play.
Yeah.
Even when the characters are talking to each other, it is almost like they have an audience.
Yeah.
They are behaving like that. So it's quite different. I kind of liked it, especially for this. I think it adds to like the charm of the entire thing.
And I'll also just mention, I don't know whether this ties in with my whole Bond thing, but the private detective who was hired in in this is Bond, is Daniel Craig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does not sound like Daniel Craig, so it took me a minute. I'm like, that is not him. Really? I'm like, Hillary mentioned he was in the movie. I don't know. This guy kind of looks like him. I think.
Because now this
or is
guy
it someone else?
This guy pulls an accent out of his back pocket. You're like, how? Why? Why do you? Because we know he's English.
Yeah.
But he doesn't sound it. It's like, I remember the movie that I was telling you that he did a similar thing in an older movie called Logan Lucky.
Okay.
Yeah. Now Logan Lucky is also kind of a heist movie. Watch that one on your own time.
Logan Lucky. Is that like a Logan's Run kind of thing?
No. It's totally different.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a funny movie. It's also a comedy like this one, but he also pulls an accent there.
Okay.
Yeah. Similar to this. But then now, also in the movie, there was Chris Evans.
Yeah. Captain America's in this movie.
And Zod.
Wait, Zod?
Yes.
Who is Zod? What?
The guy who was in charge of the books, of the book company, the publishing house.
Oh my god.
Zod.
Oh my Zod.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Even Jamie Lee Curtis is in this. Who else? Christopher Plummer. Ana de Armas. Okay, the cast is really fantastic.
Yeah.
Like, I'll give this, if it's casting alone, 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think if you're not a fan of theatrical acting, you will hate it.
Yeah, because it'll feel like they're overacting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're really not there. I thought they pulled it off really well.
Yeah, for me, I feel like they pulled it off completely fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, I think the most subtle actor there is Marta. She seems the most muted, especially when she's with her family. I feel like they're the only characters in the whole movie that are super muted, like almost like
They're
completely different from the rest, which you could argue is like
the point.
on purpose, right?
Yeah. because going by how the story is, they are the normal people. These guys
are super rich, wealthy dudes. Yeah. But I thought it was brilliant. With the direction, like this movie has like a lot of scenic stuff. Again, really reminiscent of murder mysteries. You know, you get those looks at the whole area of the compound. Like a lot of mystery movies have that.
Yeah.
That show like the areas around the manor and that kind of stuff. It's got a lot of that. I'd say the city looked really the few shots that are there of the city looked very flat. I would say. I'd say they are the biggest weak point.
Yeah.
Is those scenes that have the city.
Yeah. Because they also didn't spend that much time there. Because everything occurs pretty much on the grounds in the mansion.
Yeah.
So it's all...
Or like an ice, yeah.
Yeah. It's all either indoors or just viewing the mansion from the outside grounds.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the city doesn't really get much of a spot in the movie, I want to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing though with the direction is, so there's like this very portrait way of doing the shots that they've used as well, which kind of works with the theatric acting as well, right? Like with most of the scenes, like I think the movie starts off with like interviews, which is very like this character shown here, then the inspector, then a character. It uses like those kinds of framing things. I'm not a director. I don't know the technical term for these things, but it does a lot of that. This changes though in like very like in a very specific moment. Like they do this thing with like shaky cam randomly. I won't say why, but they do have a thing with shaky cam, which just like builds the tension and adds to panic. So I thought that was really well done as well. I'll talk about that more in the spoiler section. But yeah, I thought overall that was clever and really well done. I'd say even the score was pretty good.
Yeah.
The sound design, again, the sound design I also thought was done really well, except again for the city, it felt flat.
Muted.
In the city. Yeah.
Yeah. But I also guess, the city was very muted.
The city almost feels like they shot it in a street.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Because even yes. No, I get what you mean. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Didn't feel like a full city.
So what did you think about the script, the story overall?
Yeah, it's brilliant. You can watch this with anyone, really. I think like this is like one of the most family-friendly movies ever. I think we've done Isle of Dogs.
Yeah.
And this, they're sort of like really family-friendly. Like anyone can watch these and have a good time.
Was there any cussing in this? No.
There was definitely a bit of it, especially from Chris Evans' character.
Yeah.
There was, but it's not. I think it was mainly like, it's
exclamations. It wasn't necessarily just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't like over the top swearing. There's also like a bit of vomiting, but I use that, like I'll explain that more in the spoiler section. But it's done well.
Okay.
Vomiting is done well in this movie.
Tastefully done.
Yeah. I'd give this movie an easy 7.
Yeah, this is an easy 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, because even when I was watching it, I think I'm the one who picked this, right?
Yeah, this was your pick.
Because when I wanted to watch this movie, I was in that spot for...
actually, I changed my mind. I'd give it an 8.
Up.
Yeah, because, it was more... I actually watched this movie twice now that I think about it.
What?
Yeah, I forgot. I watched it once with my wife. I watched it again with my mother. And it was still all right the second time round. And I watched it a week off watching it.
Within a week of both watches?
Yeah, both watches within a week. It was still good the second time around.
Interesting. Okay,
so I think that should definitely add a point for me.
because I only caught it once.
Yeah.
But even the one time I did get it, I was like, I have to watch this movie with someone else.
Yeah.
It's just that the things...
It has a vibe like that,
Yeah, it has a vibe where you want to watch it with someone else, with other guys. Actually, I feel like this is one of the movies, of all the ones we've seen, would benefit from a group watch, if you could. Of course, follow COVID guidelines and protocols and all those things, if you can. But yeah.
I would say if you have like guys who like action.
No, not for action specifically.
Then maybe not, yeah.
Yeah, not for action specifically. That part of the naming even of the movie kind of...
Yeah, that really...
maybe throw guys off.
Man, seriously, go back. When you mentioned Daniel Craig and Knives Out, I'm like, oh, action, yeah. I pictured Wolverine and all kinds of crazy nonsense, but yeah.
Then he shows up with a weird accent and he shows up Bond, if you had to, because now with the way that we've described the cast, it sounds weird that Bond meets Captain America and Zod.
Yeah.
Like if you had to summarize this movie that way by the other characters that they've played, it will sound way more interesting than it is. But it's still very fun.
But it's still good, yeah.
Yeah. Like for me, I don't know. For me, my verdict, I'll still give it a 7.
Okay.
The reason why I'm okay giving it a 7 is because they've also greenlit... Netflix have bought the rights to the sequels for these movies. And they've already said that they're going to do 2 sequels to this.
Mm-hmm.
And they're already putting out word on the casting and all that stuff. So I don't know. Let me. This is a 7 for me as it is now.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what happens with the rest.
Oh, yeah, sorry. There is also drug use in this. I'd say 16 and up for sure.
Yeah. Teens. Yeah, teens.
Teens and up.
Teens and up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like up meaning your grandma as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, the sequels in any case, following the main character. Okay, the investigator, Benoit Blanc, investigating other mysteries. So yeah, that's where
is that what they're gonna do?
Yeah.
That would be dope, actually. I wouldn't mind that.
Because even if you check out the cast of the guys in the coming movie, in Knives Out 2, it's Dave Bautista, Ed Norton, and Kate Hudson.
What?
Yeah, weird. So it's the Hulk and Bautista.
The Hulk and what's his name? Drax?
Oh yeah, Drax. And he's also in in Army of the Dead.
Oh my god, he's the main guy in Army of the
Dead. Yes.
I was like, this guy looks like a wrestler. I've seen him before, I swear. And god, his acting is terrible.
Okay, in Army of the Dead.
Yeah.
There's a movie I'll recommend for you. Let me see. I'll try and remember it. I watched a movie of his recently that I really, really liked. It's called Hotel Artemis.
Hotel Artemis?
Yes.
That is a cool name.
Watch that movie tonight.
No.
Please.
I have class.
After class. Watch Hotel Artemis.
Oh,
remember when you said you thought Knives Out was about fighting? Watch Hotel Artemis.
Okay.
The way the name isn't anything to do with anything.
I mean, it sounds cool.
Yeah, watch it. You'll enjoy it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fine. I'll add it. Anyway, so that's it for the show. Next time, we'll be checking out a video game. Well, you can join in next time to the show where we're doing a spoiler-filled discussion about Knives Out. If you want to skip that and go on to the video game, or if you want to check out the video game we're doing next, we're covering Bloodstained Ritual of the Night.
Yes. That was your pick.
And that is my pick. It is a platformer.
Any reason why you picked it?
I have it, and it looks cool.
And that's all the reason.
Well, no, it's very Castlevania-ish. And I think what I might do is finally watch season 3 and 4 of Castlevania before playing this.
Okay.
Yeah, or I might watch all of it from the start and then play this.
And then play this.
Yeah.
Okay. So okay.
Yeah. Anyway, so thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Till next time.
Till next time. I'm Hillary.
I'm Hellsknight.
See you soon.
Have fun. Do you have an opinion on what we just discussed? Did we miss something? Tell us in the comments section and we'll read it in the next episode. If you're listening on Anchor, send us a voice message and we'll add it to this episode. Don't forget to follow our podcast on Twitter @SpoilFans for updates, and follow our Instagram for behind the scenes action @SpoilersInFandom. Also, subscribe to us on YouTube and Anchor to get the latest episodes.